What stopped you from killing yourself that night? I was sitting on a bridge overpass, waiting for a truck. It was 2 a.m. and I was meant to be going to work.
A random person just sat nearby, and even though he was heavily intoxicated, he just talked to me for a bit, then asked if I was okay.
It was enough. Thanks, dude.
Edit. Thanks for the well wishes, it really shows how nice people are.
This is the only place I've talked about it. My little sister and I only have each other.
The rest of the family hates us.
Like it's not even questionable, they hate us. I was about to call it a day forever and it felt like I was abandoning her.
I tried to do it 3 times that night, and all 3 times, I felt like I was about to make her life worse.
I keep picturing her having to do life alone. It felt like I was sentencing her to the same fate. She's still the reason I keep going.
My friend invited me to a party and I was gonna skip it to do that, but I forgot she was picking me up, so I went to the party.
My wife died in December. I held my hunting knife to my carotid and pushed until I could feel my pulse through the blade.
I thought, who will find me?
Probably my son. I held off and went to bed. He woke up in the middle of the night and came into my room to sleep in my bed. I took it as a sign and plan on staying around. For them, for her. 2 bullets in a row failed to fire in my revolver. I now wear them as a necklace. I was sitting on my bed with gun in hand, letter written. Tears just uncontrollably flowing. Got a call from an old friend. Didn't answer, but he left me a VM. He said, "I was just thinking of you, and miss you, bud." I put the gun away and found a therapist the next week. Ever since that day, anytime someone pops in my head, I try and give them a call. If they don't answer, I always leave a voicemail. BTW, I'm doing great now. I didn't want my dogs to curl up next to me and wonder why I wasn't petting them. I knew if I did, it would utterly devastate my husband. Every now and then my brain tries to tell me that he'd be better off without me, but I know that if suicide is how he lost me, he might never recover. I was writing the note and crying with the pills next to me when my dog came up to me and looked very concerned. I refused to look at him and went to put him in the cage. As I locked it and went to go sit back down, he howled. He has never done this in his life and he loves relaxing in his cage with his toys. It shocked me and I tried to calm him down, but he just kept getting louder. I finally opened the cage and he literally jumped into my arms and started kissing me and cuddled into my neck. I broke down crying, crumpled up the note and just went to bed. Usually my dog sleeps down by my legs and won't stay up by my face and cuddle. But that night he stayed in my arms and slept through the whole night. A girl from school called and asked if I wanted to hang out. It was enough to stop me. We've been married for 30 years now. Nothing. I fully killed myself. Wife got home and found me and did CPR. Edit. On that afternoon, nothing stopped me. I gave up. On another afternoon, in a hospital after not eating or drinking for 5 days, I had a code blue and a nurse was exactly in the right place to catch me, and another nurse had to convince me to start eating and drinking again. Now, my wife is what stops me. I will not leave her holding the bag for as long as I am in my right mind, and will try to get help if somehow I am not again, though I think we've got my meds fairly well figured out, and with my thyroid cancer dealt with, my body is much more stable. My thyroid was all out of whack before and I was suicidal and having seizures. So glad to be normal now. Hot Pockets. I was sitting in a corner of my kitchen holding the knife to my wrist when the old Hot Pockets jingle randomly got stuck in my head. My uncle was one of my best friends when I was growing up, and when I was young, I'd watch TV with him and make fun of the jingles. The only one I remember as an adult was the Hot Pockets jingle. The one he'd swap lyrics out for that made me laugh the hardest. He died by suicide earlier that year. I realized I couldn't do it. I'd like to think he got that jingle stuck in my head to make me laugh, and to remind me that there was still space for laughter in my life. I put the knife away. I met a random guy at the same spot. I was just waiting for one last sunrise. Laughed that, great minds think alike. He told me how he actually hated heights, then I told him he should probably go home. He said he'd walk me home first. Figured he probably wasn't going to kill me. And if he did? Well. Anyway, good times. Feel so emotional reading everything in this thread. I hope to God every single one of you are doing better, and I know I'm a stranger, but if you ever feel that way and think you have nobody to talk to, please fucking message me. Knowing my mother probably wouldn't survive that stress.